So this is pretty much going to cover all your bases. They're very well thought out in their individual categories. I think each of these have all the features that you would want and none of the features that you would not. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the PilotPatriot channel. Today we're going to be looking at 3 new lights from Blackscoutsurvival and Thrunite. We already did a review of the Thrunite BSS V4, and that's their tactical flashlight. I will put a link to that right here at the top of the screen if you haven't seen that yet. But today we're talking about 3 other lights. Now these are all made by Thrunite, but they're designed by Jack from Blackscoutsurvival. Now Thrunite itself is already a very well-known, very good quality flashlight manufacturer. But what Blackscoutsurvival has done is made these to be purpose-built for those EDC survival and tactical situations. So they're really packed with all the features you need. So the ones we're going to be talking about today is the BSS H01, that's a headlamp. The next one we're going to talk about is the BSS W1, that's a very small EDC style light. This one also has a reversible clip so that you could clip it onto a hat and it could double as a headlamp as well. So very well thought out light. And last but not least is the Thrunite TW10. This is a 900 lumen weapon mounted light. It's going to be compatible with any firearm that has an accessory rail on it. Now we're going to get in here and take a closer look at these and look at all the features of it. But before we do, if you haven't done it yet, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Now let's get over to the tabletop and check these things out. Alright guys, now let's get in here and take a look at these lights. Like I said before, you got a pretty well-rounded package here. You got everything from your tactical light, your EDC light, headlamp, and weapon light. But we're going to get in here and take a quick look at each individual light. Don't forget, guys, as we're going along looking at these, if you decide you want one for yourself, I will put a link to all these in the description below. Alright guys, first thing we're going to take a look at is the BSS W1. This is the EDC light. One thing you'll notice right off bat is just how small this thing is, which is good for EDC. This is something you can throw in your pocket and wear every day. Now, a few of the features you'll notice right off bat is you do have a reversible pocket clip. I really like that. I really won't even consider an EDC light that doesn't have that reversible pocket clip because I use that feature so much. It's really nice to be able to clip that onto a hat and use it as a headlamp. Another really nice feature of this light is that the tail end here is magnetic, so you can attach it to any metal surface and it will just stick right on there. That's really well thought out, especially for an EDC light. You could really be using this for anything. Working under the hood of your car, you could stick it up to light up your work area, things like that. So that is a really nice feature that you don't always see in these small EDC style lights. It does have some ribs here on the middle. That's going to help you keep a good grip on it. You take a look here inside the lens, you'll see that it does have an orange peel style. That's just going to help diffuse that light a little bit and let you get a nice flood on your light rather than a super tight beam. The charging port is here and it does have a rubber cover on it. It's a mini USB charging port. To get to the battery compartment, you're just going to twist off the cap there. And there's your rechargeable battery. This light could also be run off of a single CR123 battery if you wanted to. It does have an area here on the back where you could attach a lanyard. It does claim to have an IPX8 waterproofing standard, so that's really good. So you don't have to worry about this getting damaged in the water. Now let's quickly go through the modes. This light has 6 modes. Just a simple click of the selector button there and that will take you into low mode. Low mode is 7.5 lumens. If you click and hold, it'll cycle through the modes. So you have low, medium, and high. Medium is 58 lumens, and then high is 215 lumens. Now this does have a turbo mode. Turbo mode is 693 lumens. To get to that, you're just going to double click, and that's going to bring you right into turbo mode. The 693 lumens is really bright for an EDC light. You normally don't see that in small EDC style lights. You really don't get those high lumens. So the fact that it has that turbo mode is really nice. Now you do have 2 additional modes. If you click and hold the selector switch, that's going to give you firefly mode. Now you can see that LED came on and it just barely gives you any light. And then from any mode, if you want to get into strobe, you just click 3 times. And that's going to give you your strobe feature. So overall, guys, I really like this light. It is packed with every feature you could want in an EDC light, and it remains nice and small, so that's always a plus for an EDC light. Now, real quick, I will compare it to my normal EDC light, which is the Streamlight Micro Stream. You can see that the Streamlight is much longer, but it's also narrower. So for me, I really like that narrow light, but it's not going to be a huge difference. And the Thrunite has a lot more features. So just depending on what you want, if you're looking more at size or features. But overall, this is a great light. Moving on, we'll take a look at the headlamp. This is the Thrunite H01. Now you can see right off bat that it does come with a nice camo elastic headband with plenty of adjustment. And this light's going to have a lot of those same features that you saw in the EDC light. And you'll see that the lens is on the front of the light rather than on the end. That's going to be perfect for the headlamp feature. This light does have a lot of other features. So this holder here that attaches it to the headband is kind of a rubber material. It'll pull right out of those rubber bands there, and then you can use the light individually by itself. It does come with a clip, the same exact clip that you see on the EDC light. So you can put a clip on this if you wanted to clip it onto a bag or a plate carrier, or really anything. You could use this as a forward-facing light that you can clip onto just about anything. The size is almost exactly the same as the EDC light that we've already looked at. Now, one big difference here you'll see here on the lens is that instead of that orange peel on the inside reflector, the lens itself actually has a diffuser. Now what that does is, for a headlamp style light, you really want a lot of flood and not a super tight beam. So that diffuser is going to help diffuse that light and give you a nice wide spread on your light to light up your area. The charging port is exactly the same. It's that mini USB with the rubber cover. The on-off switch is right here. You can see when you turn the light on, you get a nice blue LED. When it's lit up blue, it means you have plenty of battery left. If that was red, that would mean you're somewhere between 11 and 20% left on your battery. And if it's flashing red, it means you're under 10%. So that's a really nice feature to help you know how much battery you have left. This is going to function just like the EDC light. It has the same 6 modes. If you push and hold down that selector switch, you get Firefly mode. Firefly mode on this one is half a lumen, and then one click gives you low mode. That's 6 lumens. Press and hold for medium at 50 lumens. To cycle through at high is 195 lumens, and then if you double click, you get that turbo mode at 687 lumens. That is super bright for a headlamp. Now, one difference about this one, instead of the traditional strobe, this one flashes in an SOS pattern. So if you give it that 3 taps, you can see it flashes in an SOS pattern to let people know that you need help. This light is really designed with survival situations in mind, and it's so versatile, being able to be removed from the head strap. That's a cool feature that you don't often get. It's a very well-rounded, very well thought out light here. You can get lights with different modes and stuff like that, but the versatility of this one, being able to come out of the head strap and be used in several other ways, is really where this one wins out, as well as being able to reach those super bright high lumen turbo modes. And just a reminder, guys, we have already reviewed the BSS V4, the tactical light. If you want to check that review out, I will put it in the description below, as well as links to all these lights. Moving on, we're going to look at the TW10. This is the weapon light. This handgun is clear. I just have it on here kind of to model it so that you can see what it looks like on a full-size handgun. It does have selector switches on both sides, so you can operate it from either side easily, either with your thumb or with your trigger finger. It has this convenient tool-free thumb screw here to tighten and loosen it. You could also use a flathead if you needed to, but it's designed so that you can use it just as a thumb screw. And we're just going to loosen that up here to show you how it attaches. It's going to attach to any traditional 1913 Picatinny rail. It also comes with a separate bar here specifically for Glock handguns. Looking in here at the lens, it's going to have that same lens that we saw on the headlamp. It has that diffuser in there to give you a nice wide spread on your light, so that no matter what your situation, if you're inside, you can light up an entire room. If you're outside, you can light up a nice big area so you can identify your threat. I do believe that every home defense gun for sure should have a weapon light on it, and that's going to be the perfect application for a light like this to go on a home defense gun. Now, one downside that I see to this is you're really going to have a hard time finding holsters that will fit a gun with this light on it specifically. Now, there may be some made for like universal light bearing holsters and things like that. It may also work with holsters that are built for other lights, but I don't know of any holsters specifically that are made for Thrunite weapon lights. If you guys know of any that this will fit in, let me know. But specifically in a home defense handgun situation, I think this light was going to be perfect. To get to our battery, screw off the bezel end. Nice big rechargeable battery. Now this is larger than the batteries for those other lights, so I'm not sure what size this actually is. It's larger than the CR123. Now all these lights, they do have an O-ring here to keep them waterproof. The charging port is here on the back. It does have a nice rubber cover for that. But this one's a little different than the other lights, where this one is a USB Type-C. So it is a different charging port than what you see in the other lights. This light is very simple to operate. You can turn it on or off from either side. Now, as far as I can tell, this just has one brightness setting. You have on and off, and it's going to give you 900 lumens. That's very good high lumen output for a weapon light. It claims a beam distance of 125 meters. So we'll get these outside at night and show you just how bright these actually are. And as far as I can tell, this has no other modes, just that high 900 lumen output. In a weapon light, it's nice to be nice and simple, just on and off. You don't want to have too many different settings and stuff that can confuse you in a threatening situation if you're defending your life. Really, the only other feature I would have liked to seen on this light is a strobe feature. It does not have that, but that may or may not be a big deal for you. Now, it does have a momentary on, so if you press and hold, that's going to give you momentary on, and then when you release, it goes off. You can also just click and release, and that's going to give you constant on and then constant off. So overall, guys, like I said, I think this is a nice weapon light. So that's the TW10 weapon light. Now let's get these lights outside and show you what they look like in the dark. All right, guys, we are outside now. We're going to start off with our EDC light. That is our low there. You can see that's not very bright, barely even reaches our shop out there. Then we cycle up to medium, and you can see that is much brighter, lights up a much bigger area here in front of me. That shop out there is about 30 yards away, and then the trees behind it, it's really not lighting those up at all. We cycle up to high, and yeah, there you go. Now we're really lighting up the whole side of that shop. We got about a 30-foot wide beam there, nice and bright here in front of me, and we can start to light up those trees out there. Those trees are about 50 yards away, but at 30 yards, it's really lighting that up nice. Moving on to the headlamp, these lumen counts are very similar. So there's our low, there's medium, and first thing you'll notice is there's a much wider pattern. It's more of a flood to the light, which is good for a headlamp, lights up more space. Then we'll cycle up to high, and there you go. We can still light up the whole side of the barn there, but you can see here in the camera screen that we're lighting up a much wider area because it has that diffuser on the lens. And then we'll go up to turbo, and bam, yeah, that lights up a nice big area. Very nice. Now we go to our weapon light, which only has one mode, and you can see that really lights up a huge area there. If this was on the end of your pistol, you can see it lights up all the way to those trees there 50 yards away. Lights up that shop there really nicely, and a huge area right here in front of me. Nice wide beam on that one as well. Very nice. Now that's it for the Blackscoutsurvival line of Thrunite flashlights. I think, like I said before, you got a nice well-rounded set here. So this is pretty much going to cover all your bases. They're very well thought out in their individual categories. I think each of these have all the features that you would want and none of the features that you would not. So I think Blackscoutsurvival did a great job of designing these lights. And Thrunite produced some nice high quality lights that are going to hold up under most circumstances. So don't forget guys, we will have links in the description below to all these lights. If you haven't done it yet guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. If you have any additional questions or comments, make sure you leave that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.